America is a cesspit. The scum rises to the top. You know what a cesspit is? It's the first stage of sewage treatment, where all the raw sewage, all the toilet paper, all the tampons, all the feces, all the urine, all the snot, everything people cough up in the morning, it all just goes into a big stinking vat. And that's in a cesspit. The temperature of the water might be 150 degrees because of all the bacteria and all the life going on in there. And it's just, and it's all at the top, rotting in the sun. We're down here under it going, please, no, we want this to stop. And they're saying, you are tyrants. You are terrorists. You are bad down there. And the news is openly saying, yes, we are getting ready to take your pension funds for the private banks. It's good. And don't say you're against it or you're a terrorist. All right, I better get to this video. I said I would. The point is, order the videos, get them out to people. You need to see this. In fact, Duke keeps asking me to come direct the trailer with him. Tell Duke in his trailer, we need a longer trailer that shows them trying to set them up. I mean, this is hardcore. I mean, just the military, the police, they just walk up and say, yeah, you terrorist. But in the case of Pittsburgh, it's like Southerners. But they have the same spirit, even act the same, like gangsters. Get you out of here. Instead, it's like, go wait right over there. And they come over. No, we're not going to talk to you. Get out of here. Then they follow them in a car, call the police and say, they were trying to blow up the base. We're not human. I mean, let me tell you, the police and military have been trained, just frame you. Boom. Just, they're not even a thought. Hey, three nice guys come up. Hey, we want to talk to you. Here's our information. Here's our card. Then they said, call your boss. So I call, they get on the phone. And I'm like, Infowars.com. Yeah. No, we're media. I have a syndicated radio show. We're also on Channel 10 here in Austin. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're like, no, I'm not going to talk to you. So, I mean, all this went on. And then with database searches, they find out what hotel they check into an hour later and call them and say, oh, yeah, we're the rental car place. We want you to bring that rental car back, probably so they could plant a bomb on them or something. And it had been all over the news, Alex Jones's team. I mean, that's the world we live in. And the guys are like, well, our car doesn't have bad brakes, but we'll bring it in tomorrow. And the guy goes, actually, I'm with the Pittsburgh PD terrorism investigation. It's going to be put on a list for life. We know you were trying to blow up the perimeter and ran from them, and we have it all on tape. I called the guy up and I said, we're human beings, pal. I got his full name and I said, you better not set our people up or we're going to have to pursue criminal charges. But see, some little farmer in Iowa or something they set up that it doesn't have a media operation to defend themselves. These people are so evil, man. Just nice Americans get out of a car. Hey, the troops are here in town. We'd like to talk to your media person. Get out of here. We're going to call and say you're a terrorist. I mean, think fundamentally how warped these people are. You don't think they aren't ready to run death camps? They'll just say you're a terrorist. You don't think they aren't ready to take your house with the green police? All these people that will never have a job and are lazy video game heads, they can't wait to get their badges and guns, and they're getting them. In fact, we had that photo of Houston, of environmental police. In fact, we ought to pull that up and put it up on screen. Okay. Getting back to CNN. The only reason I said I would do the CNN interview was because I knew we could videotape it. But we brought a small camera in case the people at the place said we couldn't tape. I was saying if they refused, we were just going to leave because there was no point letting CNN twist or warp or edit whatever I had said. I had to have a record of it. So we shot it with a little flip camera. They were nice, let us do it, that's fine. But we couldn't jack in. They wouldn't let us do that. And then CNN, it was real funny, trying to put me on the defensive, like we're causing violence when we're covering their corruption. So I threw it back in their face. And you can't hear their questions because, again, they were on a satellite feed hooked up to the big expensive camera that the satellite place owned. And I was there being asked the questions. But it's the content of the information that's powerful and really has captured people's imagination, to understand that they don't control reality anymore. They're not the gods up on a... I'll tell you one of the big frauds of TV. CNN's top shows have like 1 million viewers. Their lesser shows, 200, 300,000. Some of their shows like 50,000. And they charge tens of thousands of dollars, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $100,000 in some cases for a minute ad. Meanwhile, this radio show has way more listeners than CNN. But when people watch it, it's godlike. It's so big. It's like Coast to Coast AM. Has 16 million listeners a night, about 3 million, 4 million listeners an hour. And they're maybe, 1/100th of the cost of CNN? Rush Limbaugh has over 10 million listeners a day, over 22 million a week total that tune in. And he's, I don't know, $3,000 a minute ad. CNN's 50, 100,000. It's a total fraud. I mean, what's worth more? 10 million listeners or 200,000, 300,000, maybe 400,000, depending on the night with Anderson Cooper. In fact, pull up Anderson Cooper's ratings. Most nights it'll pull up a rating service. Usually it's 300,000. I mean, some nights 500,000. This is pathetic. But they all think they're God and think they're so big and think everybody has to bow down to them. No, I just went in there knowing what they were going to ask to throw it to them so they understood that we see through them. We see them. And let me tell you, the attacks on us really intensified after we put this up Saturday. Let's go ahead and start the tape. Go ahead.
You're my friend from CNN. Hi, Joe.
Oh, hit pause. Yeah. They're like, hi, Alex. Hi. Oh, you look nice. How you doing, buddy? And I went, oh, you're my friend, Joe. And he changed his tone and he goes, no, I'm not your friend. He was like, hi. And I was like, oh, you're my friend. And he understood that I knew it was cynical and sarcastic, and I was his quarry, and he was the wolf, and I was supposed to be the rabbit. And so I went, oh, you're my friend. And he goes, no, I'm not your friend. I'm Black Ops. He didn't say that last part. He said, I'm not your friend. I get off on manipulating people. I'm on a power trip. I sold my soul. I'm here to divide the country. That's what he said in his spirit, but his voice said, no, I'm not your friend. I'm not your friend, Jones. Literally, it was like, oh, hi, Alex. And no, I'm not your friend. Not your friend. Now let's go back to it.
I know.
Yeah, no problem.
Hello, Info Warriors. On the 26th day of March 2010, CNN called me, and they said, we want you to come in and do an interview and tell us if it's your fault that all this violence is happening against supposed congressmen and others in the government in the aftermath of Obamacare. And I said, let me guess, you're going to interview me for 10 or 15 minutes and then put 30 seconds of it on the news. And they laughed and said, that's exactly what we're going to do. And I said, fine, I'll come in, because if I refuse, you're going to say that I wouldn't come to the interview. Alex Jones refused to be interviewed for this piece. So I said I'd come in, but why did I really come in?
I should have told you guys, go ahead and skip ahead now, because I've already introduced all this. And then we put on screen, because this was done Friday, but Aaron finished it Saturday, that indeed they didn't air it. So let's go ahead and skip ahead. Here we go.
Well, we have the large central banks in Bloomberg calling for taking the population's pension funds and 401ks and investing it to prop up the derivatives bubble. That's what's generating the anger. I am personally angry, and so is the American people. I mean, 98% in many polls were against the banker bailout of 2008. So the corrupt system is stirring up anger. That's like saying, are you angry at Hitler in 1939 Germany because you're an angry person? No, I'm angry at Hitler because Hitler was bad. And so the system is manifestly corrupt, looting and robbing the people. They're ignoring the will of the American people. They're violating the Bill of Rights and Constitution. And so anyone who is a constitutionalist is upset, just like our founding fathers were upset. And so, our military marches off and kills 1 million people in Iraq, and that's supposedly a good thing. And then Americans raise their voices and the media acts like it's the end of the world. What's happening here is the mainstream media doesn't control perception anymore. They don't control reality. They're not up on the mountain telling us what we